23 years old, now you say yes. And then they turn you into that. Then they recognize you like that. And you know what you're doing this for, right? And more important is your team behind you, right? So my talk to you guys today is really more for it's just shocking. This is my 13th year in the company. I started at 23 years old, I'm 36 now. And a millionaire, I guess. But I'll tell you guys this, it didn't start like that. I failed who failed their test? How about 2 times? How about 3 times? How about 4 times? And now they pay me $1 million a year. But I wrote something shocking here. Every year we come to this convention, they say, stand up if this is your first time. And my talk is for you guys today. Make it a goal that you'll be here last year, because let me tell you something, you weren't here last year. 70% of you guys were not here last year, and we told people, stand up if it's your first time, and where those people are now. You see, something happened in the process of the last 12 months, adversity hit them, right? Negativity hit them. So I want to give you guys 3 points. Number 1, you have to plant your flag. If you're going to make sure that this is your future, you're going to go back home and be different. Different is a good thing. As you start your journey in WFG, people are going to question you. You're going to feel ups and downs in the process. But I'll tell you guys this. If you plant your flag, we have a little thing saying in our team is this or send the flowers? We're not going anywhere. We're going to be doing this for the rest of our lives. And our goal is to continue growing as a person. As you grow as a person, so you income. Well, a lot of people want to make more money, but you're not growing as a person. So, number 1, you have to make a decision to plant your flag. Number 2, as you're doing that, I'm talking to the new people. Ready? As you make a decision, you have to be ready to bring the fight. People are going to question you. I'm telling you. I remember my first convention, I was so broken young. That's how Eric likes to get them. And he builds them. I borrowed money from my mother-in-law. $250 to come to my first convention. He changed my life. Came back to San Jose, quit my job, made $100,000 my first year, qualified for Hawaii, hit SND, did all that stuff. Then I plateaued. Then about 7 years ago, a convention like this in 2011 changed my life forever. I made a decision for my beautiful wife, Veronica, to come in business with me full time. And from there, we've been rocking and growing. But a lot of it is, I knew the fight. Some of you guys are going to go back, and your excitement right now will be dead by Tuesday. The little butterflies you feel right now, you're not going to have them anymore by Wednesday when you guys don't show up. But I want to challenge you guys, which is my 3rd point. Every single time adversity hits you, focus on the end result. I want you to imagine, last night they said, stand up if you're here more than 10 years. You notice all the people are in the front more than 10 years? Who noticed that? And we're not going to go over the income factor, but a lot of them make a lot of money. So if you just think about it, where are you going to be 10 years from now? Where are you going to be 20 years from now? Where are you going to be 30 years from now? But you see, let me tell you something. If you quit, where are you going to be 20 years from now? Where are you going to be 30 years from now? If you decide to give up. And this is the thing, when you give up, you don't give up on you. You giving up on your kids' future, your parents, everybody around you that can be impacted in a positive way by you sticking in the business long term. We've been blessed to be able to help our in-laws. I've been blessed to be able to help my parents financially every month. I've been able to do things a lot for our team. And money's not an issue anymore. We're not where we want to be, but I'll tell you guys right now, I know money doesn't buy everything in the world. It doesn't. But sort of being poor doesn't buy anything. So if you gotta choose, I'd rather be crying in my Lamborghini. You understand that? You're gonna cry, might as well cry something better. And last but not least, your why. What's gonna keep you in the business long term? I'll tell you guys right now, it's not gonna be money. We have teammates that make money quit the business, so it's not money. What is it? What's going to keep you long-term in WFG? What's going to make you go through the process of pain? Because you are. And maybe that's not what you wanted to hear today, but I'm just going to, I love you guys so much that I want to tell you the truth. You are going to go through some pains. You are going to go through ups and downs. A lot of my family don't talk to me anymore, and it's not because I've done anything bad for them. It's just they're uncomfortable around me. They're complaining about gas prices. I don't check gas prices. They're complaining about who the governor is. I'm not dependent on Social Security. You guys understand that? So our conversations don't match anymore. You need to become so big, not only, again, financially, but everybody, your kids, your family, the way you live. I got two beautiful boys, Jacob and CJ, and they think different now. Jacob's 11. He loves into the conference calls. He loves WFG. He wishes. Our teacher called us the other day and said, hey, we have to have a meeting with you guys. And we show up, what's going on? What is this Woosh Spoon Diamond #1? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, Jacob, my son, like every single time we go to break or lunch, he stands up and says, Woosh Spoon Diamond #1. And I explained it to the teacher when that was my client. You know how it works? And I told my son this. I love him. I said, you will never be an employee. Right? You'll never be an employee. Mom and dad are building a business for you and your brother. And we already funded their scholarships for school and all that good stuff. I'm going to let them go to college if they want to go. Most likely it will be San Jose State. That will be their only option. But if they don't, they have a family business. You see, WFG, for some of us, is something we do. And WFG, for some of us, is who we are. You have to make a decision. Is WFG something that you're going to look back 3 years from now and say, oh, I remember I did that? Imagine 10 years from now when they're doing movies, books about us. Because that's going to happen. They're doing books about some of us. And your son and your daughter will be sitting down next to you and say, Mommy, Daddy, wasn't that the company you were involved 10 years ago? Well, yeah, but it got tough. And that's why we can go to Disneyland then? You're gonna have two options. Listen, you're either willing to take the no's now so your family doesn't have to, or for the rest of your life, you'll be thinking about why you didn't stay. And my biggest challenge, I pray every single time I go out to a place to speak, I said, I'm not here to inspire you, motivate you. Don't ever compare yourself with anybody on stage. We paid the price. We work hard. We did everything that most people were not willing to do. You want to have what we have? Then you better be willing to do what we did. If you're not willing to do that, don't expect the reward. I said that yesterday. Don't ever be surprised by your results. If you put in the work, expect the return. If you don't expect to put in the work, you're never going to expect the return. And I feel our company right now is going places. I'm going to let you guys know that. Look around this arena. Who already thought like this will be my team one day?
That's right. Yeah.
Anybody? Because remember, everything's built 3 times. Number 1 is built in your mind. If you don't at least think about it, it's never going to happen. Second, you put it on paper. You plan it out, you figure it out, and best way, you find someone that's been there to teach you how to do it. And third, which is most of us fail. Because everybody can think about it, everybody wants to have the houses, the cars. Number 2, they put it on paper, but number 3 is action. And that's where most of us fail. And I want to challenge you guys as we end today, or at least my talk, don't be like most people. You're going to leave this convention, and there's 2 different types of people. Those that go implement and those that don't. Remember, the biggest gap in the world is between knowledge and doing. Let's go out there and make it happen. Thank you guys.
A little bit about my story. I was born 2 months early. The doctors didn't think I was going to make it. I was in an incubator. Good news, I made it. My mom had miscarriages before me. There was a lot of complications in birth. She couldn't bear children after me. But for some reason, I got here. And because of that, I always had this overwhelming feeling that life was a gift. And I was supposed to do something great with it. And it was supposed to matter. And there was a plan and a purpose. And I know you feel that same way. And so I went to college and I felt this overwhelming pressure to pick the one best thing, the one major, the thing I was going to do with the rest of my life. The problem was I had so many dreams. I wanted to do so many things that I would sit in the college campus at night and cry out to God and say, God, why did you give me so many dreams? How am I supposed to do all of this in one life? You better tell me what to do with my life. Because I want to be a famous actress and a missionary in Africa, and I want to be a teacher, and I want to make a lot of money, and I want to be a successful business person, and I want to get married, and I want to have a whole bunch of kids. I would say, I want to hear your voice. I'm not leaving this card till you. I hear your voice, and I would hear nothing. But in my heart of hearts, I felt like he was saying, do you trust me? Yes. And so I graduated from college, and at 22 years old, I was invited to a BPM, and I walked in, and I fell in love with the environment. I fell in love with the people, and I fell in love with the mission of our company, because my parents were hardworking business owners, and they made a lot of great money, and they spent a lot of great money, and that was all they knew about money. Nobody sat down and did a plan for them, and I felt convicted about that. And so I thought, this is awesome. Let me tell you, this business was so painful for me the first 2 years. Not because this business is hard, because it's actually really quite simple, but because of me. Didn't even realize how deep my fear of rejection went, how deep my fear of failure went, how I was so addicted to the approval of others. I wanted so bad for everybody to like me. That it was so hard. When my guests didn't show up, I'd be sitting in the BPM room, and if I blinked, tears would come out of my eyes. If somebody quit on me, or my little 22-year-old friend said something negative, or my extended family questioned my actions or my intentions, it was so painful. But I wanted to be somebody, and I wanted to win, and I wanted to get recognized. But it was so uncomfortable, I hated it, so I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit, and I said, okay, well, because I care what everybody thinks, I gotta find a good reason to quit. I gotta justify my quitting, so I can, well, if I find something better, then I can reasonably quit. And I would think, where else can I have unlimited income potential, total control of my time, be around amazing leaders and mentors like Jamie and Sean Villalobos, and have a noble cause, and I could find nothing. Dang it! So I said, well, I could go be a missionary in Africa, because no one can be mad about that. That's like the most noble, holy thing to do. But then I'd have to go move to Africa. So my husband says, you know, I think maybe you think this business is hard because your life's been pretty easy. And here's my husband, who at 2 months old had a negative reaction to a vaccination and had nerve damage to the whole right side of his body, can't use his arm, walks with a limp. His dad is a drug addict. His mom raised 5 kids on her own with a cashier's salary, and I started thinking about something, about the fact that there were people in the world with real problems. People without access to running water. People who had serious health issues. People who had real grief from losing loved ones prematurely, and here I was with self-inflicted adversity. I was doing it to myself in my own mind, and it wasn't even real. I started to think about the fact, what the heck do I care what anybody else thinks? I never wanted to be like anybody anyway. I said, forget all that. I'm sitting in my flat. Here's where my family's gonna win, because I've done all the research and there's nothing better. It's gonna happen here for me. And all that time and energy wasted, all that mental anguish and back and forth, you know what I did? I built a business. And I got good, and I started making calls, and I started meeting with people, and all that mental negotiation, all that energy went into, instead of focusing on myself, I could be in front of somebody, and I could see them, and I could hear them, and I could believe in them, and I could pour into them. And when we give into our fears, we're selfish instead of selfless. And so my whole life, this business gave me all my dreams. I had an epiphany last convention that everything I ever wanted, this dream has fulfilled. This business has fulfilled in me, and I never wanted to be a financial advisor. But you know what it did? It gave me I've been married 10 years. I have 3 awesome, beautiful children. I've been able to give birth 3 times, breastfeed 3 babies. I got promoted, kept getting promoted, kept making more money every year on my terms. I get to be with my kids. I get to live my dreams. I get to travel the world. I get to influence and work with the best team, with the best leadership. And last month, I got to go be a missionary in Africa with Jeff Levitan and Jamie Villalobos, Coleman, and Dana Winston Ghana. We loved all these kids. We brought them to the life. And heck, be an actress. I'm right here in front of 20,000 people. She said to me, because you can. Because you can. Where much has been given, much is required. And we have been given a gift. Number 1, we've been given the gift of life. Let's not play small. Number 2, we've been given the gift of being in this country. And number 3, we've been given the gift of this company. And it is up to us, it is our duty, it is our privilege to give it all we got. We gotta grow, we gotta evolve, we gotta get uncomfortable. This is because